Well, today I have the absolute privilege of talking with Kelly Lee Goodchild. Kelly's the director of Allambie Care's outreach program. She's an inspirational leader. Kel's passion for outreach and family work is something that inspires so many people in our organisation. She's a champion of women. She's a mum. She's an all-round absolute legend. So, Kel, thanks for being with me today.
Oh, thanks, Steve. That was a really nice introduction.
So, Kel, can you tell me just a bit about outreach in general, like the department that you oversee? Like, what are some of its functions?
So within outreach, we've got our family work, so our family search and engagement team, and they're a massive piece of the puzzle for Allambie Care. So their role is reconnecting our kids in out-of-home care back with their families, and that's so important for our young people. And another program that I oversee is our family preservation program. So that's working with families in the community. So families that may be struggling, having a rough time, and we offer support and help for them.
Okay, so can you tell me just a bit about like your journey, about how you got to where you are now?
Oh, I sure can. I've been working in Allambie almost 17 years, so it has been a big journey. I started out in foster care, so recruiting foster carers, and that for me was such a privilege because you get to go and meet some amazing people who want to do some support for young people, and you get to hear about their stories. So it was from there that I fell in love with Allambie. So from there I worked in residential, and it was then that I think I first really understood the importance of family for young people in care and how hard it is to be disconnected, and how far they can come if they're reconnected with their family. And I think that from there we had an opportunity to work with families in the community, and that's where my journey in outreach started. And we've been really lucky as an organisation for that area to grow. So we had our family preservation, as I mentioned before, and we've also worked with young people who are homeless across the Hunter and the Central Coast. And again, you're working within a network to support these young people. So it's never just us as a service. It is very much building a network around young people, building a network around the family, so that, as we know, we all have struggles in life. And I think if you've got those supports and you've got people wrapped around you, that's when you can get through the hard stuff. And I think that's really important.
So would you say, like, in your family work, like working with families in the community, like, these are guys that are not in the out-of-home care system yet. Like, what would you say are sort of consistent themes, or, what do families need?
Every family is complex. I think I'm a mum of three. I have a husband, and it's tough. Being a family, being parents, it can be really hard. And I think that in society today, the world's in a lot of hurt, I think, at the moment, and it makes things really tough. So every family situation is complex and different, but I think that common theme of having people they can call on for help in those tough times is the thing that gets people through. It's linking them in, so if kids are struggling at school or not able to go to school for some reason, it's working within those networks to build safety and security for them so that they can get the best out of life, pretty much.
So so you heading up that area, like what do you believe is like your role? Like what's your reason for showing up every day? What do you need to do?
That's a really good question. I think for me, there's a couple of layers to that. I'm very privileged to work with some really amazing people who are extremely passionate and clever, and part of my role is motivating them and supporting them. So it's making sure that they have the energy and the drive and and the support to get through their days. It's no secret it can be really tough work. It's tough work because you're seeing people, I think, at their most vulnerable, and you're supporting them through that. So that impacts people, and I think that making sure that our team supports each other and is available to have conversations and work through the hard problems. So we're never doing anything on our own. Those relationships are so important, and I think that if we've got strong people with strong supports around them, then they're best equipped then to go out and support families and kids and that in any way that we can. So for me, that's a top priority. It's then working with across the organisation as well, across the other departments. So a lot of the programs that I work within, we support. So like I mentioned, we do the connecting back for children that are in care to their families. We've got a wonderful social work team that does a lot of different trainings and supports across the organisation. So I think that understanding where each of the programs are at, what supports they might need is really important as well. So, and for me, the reason that outreach or working within the community is so important is you do get to see the outcomes for families. You do get to stay connected, and we've even had families that then have supported other families through their journey. So I think that's an amazing experience in itself.
What about what keeps you motivated?
That there's opportunities. It's ever growing. So if they see a need, then I think we go with that. We don't fit within a box. I think that's really important for me, that it's not something that you go to work and you do the same thing every single day. You get to meet amazing people. You get to be innovative and creative with the work that you're doing. And from that, then you get to see outcomes. So that keeps me motivated.
So the family work, like what are some of the biggest challenges working in that space?
The biggest challenges, I think, is seeing people in pain, and then not taking that home. Like I mentioned, I've got 3 boys, and they're amazing, and I want to still have the energy to give them what they need when I get home in the afternoon. And I think, it can be really draining from that perspective. And I think too that you want to fix things and solve things, and that's not what families necessarily need. They need someone to listen, and they need people to be there to support, but families are their own experts. And to be honest, that's when we say we see outcomes, it's not because we have done anything, it's because that family has built their own strength and resilience and are able to kind of work through that. So I think a tough thing on that is to sit back sometimes and to just listen, and trust in the process. But yeah.
Where do you see the future of the sector, like in your space?
Oh, the future of the sector, there's a lot going on at the moment, and I think everyone wants to have good outcomes for children, and nobody wants to see children stay in care. I think that the investment really does need to be in family and connecting back to family, whatever that may look like. It's creating that sense of belonging for young people, that they have that attachment with their family, and it's looking at the future for them, not just, I think where we sell ourselves short as a sector is that we're looking at placement and a couple of years. We're not really looking at the future for these young people past 18, past 20, plus 30. So I think if you're looking at that holistically, then more investment needs to be made in supporting that connection and relationship with family.
Yeah, that's awesome. So if you were to reflect back on your own many years of service work in this sector, what have you learnt about your work, about yourself?
I think I've learnt about myself that I'm a lot stronger than I thought I was. I was thinking back when I started, because I would have been just married, 20 something, like young 20s, and you think that you know everything. And it's funny looking back and going, wow, what I wish I had have known back then. So I think I've grown a lot from listening to people's stories and working with people and making tons and tons of mistakes along the way.
Thanks, Kel. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure having you today, listening to a bit about your story and about the important work that you do. Laura said you're an exciting leader. You're someone that people respect, and just thank you for the work that you do for Allambie and those that you influence around you.
Yeah, thanks, Steve. Thanks for the opportunity.